Hey, welcome back to another success interview that I'm doing here with Father Bob yet again. He is back and he's lost over 80 pounds in under 8 months. So, Father Bob, thank you so much for being here and for taking the time out of your day.
Sure, you're welcome. Glad to do it.
Happy to be here again with you in a different time. So last time we spoke, you mentioned how, if you lost, you were down 60 pounds, and you mentioned how if you lost just another 10 or 15 pounds, you'd be happy with that cushion. So here we are a couple months later, down another 20 pounds. And I just want to, just for the people that don't know who you are, just maybe give a little bit of background about who you are, what you do, and just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, again, for starters, I'm a Roman Catholic priest for the Diocese of Brooklyn. Soon to be, in another couple of weeks, 64 years old. I've struggled with being overweight really my entire life. And I guess never dreamed I'd be back. Never dreamed I'd be back under 200 pounds. I don't think, even from the time I was in high school, Zavarian High School, I was over 200 pounds. And as of this morning, by the way, I weighed in at 179. So I'm actually under 180.
Wow.
So I believe we started working together beginning of July. My first official weigh-in I checked was July 10th. I was 261. So I'm down 82 pounds from July 10th to March 11th. So almost exactly 8 months.
Wow, that's amazing. And congratulations.
And in terms of waist size too, I think I was wearing size 52 pants at the time. Now I'm in a size 38.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd be there again.
Congratulations. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And why don't you tell them about just a little bit about what you've tried, and because you said you struggled with weight since you were, since childhood. What have you tried in the past? This wasn't your first time trying to lose weight.
No, I've been up and down. I've gone on diets, and I think, most of the diets I've been on in the past have been really crash diets. I mean, I do have decent willpower when I really put my mind to it, but I guess I always found it easier to deny myself everything for a period of time. And, so when I would do it, diet then, the weight would come off, especially at the beginning. I'd find I would lose a lot of weight early on, but then it would sort of plateau. And certainly when I went back to eating what was more normal for me at the time, the weight would always come back. And so I was never one, at least since my high school days. I did play soccer, varsity soccer at Zavarian, but after that, I was never very active physically. So, it wasn't like I was getting a lot of exercise. What's different this time? I think, a few things. I failed to mention right before we started working together, I had back surgery for a bad case of sciatica. And that had really hampered my movement and getting around. And then after a long recovery from that, and I had actually started losing weight from just before the back surgery and after the back surgery. I had naturally lost some weight with some time in the hospital, and then had prostate surgery after that. So I know it took us some time, but once we finally started, I know, having lost some weight from before the surgery, I didn't want to put that back on. And, came across some of your postings on Facebook and, figured out that you were a classmate of one of my nephews at Zavarian and started that relationship. So I think what's different, one, the exercise, the fast HIT training has been ideal for me, even as a big guy, an overweight guy, and not particularly mobile, because even after my surgery, I still have some nerve issues and numbness. I've been able to do the running in place, the fast hit training. The fact that it only takes 30 minutes, I can fit into my schedule. Again, the pandemic had started in between then. I certainly didn't want to put weight back on during the pandemic. So engaging with you, having the exercise made a difference. I think some of your nutrition tips have certainly helped. Now I do watch what I eat, but I'm no longer starving myself like I did before. Just trying to eat sensibly. For me, it's increasing proteins and fruits and vegetables, really cutting back on some of the carbs like the pasta and the bread that I love a lot, used to eat a lot of. And then, I think what's also critical has been the accountability. The fact that we work together, the fact that I do, weigh in once a week and report back, having that accountability, I guess, makes it, just an additional step to really want to, I want to do it for myself first of all, but also not to let you down and to continue the progress that we're making. So I think all those things really, have come together to be a big help.
Yeah, and you mentioned so many amazing points there. So why don't you talk a little bit about, like you said you've tried in the past with diets, you'd lose weight initially very quickly, plateau, and then end up yo-yoing back, right?
Right.
And can you tell me a little bit about, like, what do you think it is this time that has helped you not only like lose weight, initially, but continue to lose weight and continue to lose weight and continue to lose weight? Like, what do you think it is this time that's different? Like, why is it more consistent and sustainable?
Well, I mean, the only thing I can really think of is the fast hit training. In the past, when I would diet, I never really did have any regular exercise. And I think the fast hit training, I've been working out with you the 3 days a week. And then the days that we're not meeting online, I have the video. So I do my homework. So really every day now I start the day, get up a half hour early, do the fast hit training, jump in the shower, and I'm really good to go. And I think that's made the biggest difference. That, and again, with the diet and the nutrition, it's not like I'm denying myself everything, and I'm not trying to starve myself. I mean, some of your tips about eating maybe 4 times a day rather than 3 times a day. I was always so afraid of not eating after dinner or not eating later on at night, and I'd wake up real hungry. And now it's just I can get through the day and be satisfied. Some of your tips too on eating, slowing down the eating process and letting the body signals kick in when we're satiated. I think that's made a big difference too.
Absolutely. And like, what do you think is like in your mind, like, what do you think was some of the limiting beliefs that you mentioned? Some, like, like around eating late at night. That's a common limiting belief a lot of people have. They think they're gaining weight because they're eating late into the evening. What are some limiting beliefs that you had that were kind of broken through, like the actions that you've taken in the program? Maybe like some
that
conceptions. Yeah.
that's one. I think some of the things that I was eating too, I think I was big on processed foods, and rather than just eating whole foods. I mean, I am blessed. I have a great cook here at the rectory who has been very helpful in preparing healthy dinners, lots of vegetables and fruits for dessert, and chicken, turkey, fish, protein. I think too, in the past, I probably would have opted for, artificially sweetened things. And again, now, I think I realize how much better I am either just avoiding the sweet stuff altogether, be it, real sugar or the fake sugar. Uh, and even I guess one of your recent tips too on fat-free stuff, not being so afraid of a little bit of fat, that the body recognizes that, needs that, and sends signals based on that. So I think it's just been a lot healthier altogether.
Yeah, it sounds like much more of a balanced approach that you've
Right.
taken this time around. And like, where were you like just emotionally during that time before we began, where you were trying to lose weight, but then you'd end up plateauing, yo-yoing? How did that feel? Like, where were you at emotionally?
Well, yeah, it would be very frustrating, and emotionally, I know it has a lot to do. I was one of the people, if I was happy, I would celebrate by eating. If I was depressed or sad, I would try to lift myself up by eating. Eating really became, filling, different voids in my life. And it's discouraging when you work hard, and really some of the dieting I did then was really, painful in a way because I was denying myself so much. And so it would be painful as the weight was coming off, and then, just go back on all too easily. But now I do think with the change of mindset, the change of lifestyle, I'm really hoping and praying that this will certainly be something much more sustainable.
Right. And like, can you tell me a little bit about like your like that emotional eating that you kind of experienced? Where do you feel like your relationship with food is now?
Well, now, I know, I look at the food as, necessary to my energy and my well-being. And, I have my meals, my body sends me signals when I'm hungry, and, I have something to eat and satisfy that, making sure that, I don't overeat, that I let those signals kick in. And when my body tells me it's had enough, and between that and the exercise, the fasted training, certainly it's given me a lot more energy to, go about and do the things that I need to do during the day. I'm not using food as a crutch. I'm not using food, I guess, just for comfort. I'm using it for what it's intended, to do, to be that source of energy for the body.
Yeah, and that's incredible. And I just want to point out because some people like what ends up happening is they're constantly looking for reasons like, oh, like this is why it worked for him. It's because you have a chef and a cook, or you have someone cooking for you. And like, I just want to like talk on that a little bit. Let's say you didn't have someone making dinners for you at night, like 5 days a week or whatever it is. Like,
Right.
what do you think it would have been a drastically a different thing? Or I just feel like you're the kind of person that would have like, have done it anyways. But I want to hear from you.
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, I think I would have found a way. It really hasn't been that big a deal. And I do. I mean, I make my own breakfast and lunch and things like that. And yeah, dinners, the dinners are fairly simple anyway. So to bake or broil a piece of chicken or a piece of fish isn't, that big a deal. And I think to have the maybe it does take a little bit of extra time, but it's not been extraordinary things that I've been doing anyway to have some extra vegetables and fruits and things like that. Really been fairly simple.
Right. And what do you think it is about, like, just, you've tried dieting in the past without exercise. What do you think it is that's caused you to not have a sustainable result because of that?
Well, I think, one, without the exercise, you're denying myself much more what I would eat. They really became more starvation type diets. I'm sure it was lots of water loss at the beginning that, when you do start to eat normally and, it just comes right back. And without the exercise, without the fasted training, rather than increase my energy, as I was losing weight, I'd have less energy because I wasn't eating and really not exercising. So I think those things probably made the biggest difference.
100%. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. So when you diet without exercise, you end up losing water and muscle, and like that will slow down your metabolism, and like that's the main cause of why people end up yo-yoing and plateauing. So you hit the nail on the head for sure. And just like, where were you, like, just headspace wise before we got started, just like mentally?
Well, again, it was an interesting time to me because, I had just had the back surgery, really the first time I've ever had a major surgery like that. And it was a lot more difficult than I ever imagined it would be, the recovery from that. Uh, so, and then I guess following the surgery, then I did start, I was doing some physical therapy for a while. And I think that helped me and helped motivate me and kind of started me, down that process where I did lose some weight. Um, but then the whole pandemic thing kicked in. and that was depressing all over again. And the physical therapy ended. I wasn't getting that exercise anymore. I could see the danger of putting on weight pretty quickly again, being cooped up with the pandemic. And again, if I did go back to using food as comfort and a crutch, I could really anticipate, putting on the weight pretty fast. So I knew I needed to do something. And again, for me, I'm not the kind of guy that's good about getting out to a gym and doing other stuff. The fact that I could do the fast hit training in my room without any equipment, I mean, it couldn't be for me any more convenient. And that's really what I needed, something that I could do easily, without any kind of extra things to do, and fit it right into the schedule. It really just came together. Very
Yeah.
nice one.
And where would you say you are now, headspace wise, just like emotionally? How do you feel overall, like from where you were, like at 261 to like 179? Like how do you feel personally?
Well, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, honestly, in terms of my body, it's not like I feel tremendously different. So it's funny. It's not like I feel, so thin. But then when I see pictures, and I see pictures of myself, and I know that, people say they can't recognize me. I told you that story. I mean, I had a meeting. We're having work done on the rectory, a contractor, and sat down and had a meeting. And after the meeting, the contractor asked another one of the employees here, whatever happened to that fat priest that used to work here? And they were like, are you kidding? You were just talking with him. It's like, that was him, and a lot of people have said, they haven't recognized me. Wearing a mask has a lot to do with it too during the pandemic, but no, it feels better, and I can move around better. So having the surgery now behind me and being able to, even do my job as a priest at the altar and walking, through the church, things that were really challenging before, now I can do, like a normal person again, a normal human being. So it's a great feeling.
And how about like self-esteem, confidence, happiness overall? Like, where would you say that is from where it was to now?
Sure. Well, it does. I don't know. I certainly gotten used to always being overweight, being a big guy. So I guess it wasn't um, as difficult, although there were certain things. I think I told you too. I had to take a trip not too long ago where I got on a plane. I used to hate to travel on planes. So I would have to ask for seatbelt extenders and never really fit in the seats, and getting in and out of different cars, but now again, things are just so much easier, better for me, that it definitely gives me a better self-esteem.
Yeah. And let me ask you, what do you think helped you stay motivated for 8 months straight? Like, some people get started and, 8 days in, they're gone. Like, what do you think it was that kept you motivated for 8 months?
Well, I guess the steady progress and the results, like you said, all the other times I've lost weight, again, it would be very fast at the beginning and then slow down and plateau and stop. But this has really been so consistent, 2.5 pounds a week, and again, with a few ups and downs, a few blips around whether Christmas or any other special things, but then the correction kicks back in, and I think the fact that I just feel better too. Like I said, the fact that I have more energy. I mean, now that getting up and doing the workout first thing with the video, if I don't do that, I feel like something's wrong. If I don't do that, I feel sluggish. So, it's just become part of the routine, and something that I am able to do, and hopefully will continue to do, even after our sessions stop. I'll still be able to use the video and start off the day the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. My goal is to equip you with like tools for lasting change. So
Right.
I'm happy to hear that. And really, like, what do you believe is like the secret to success in weight loss? Because this isn't just, you've lost more weight from like before we began,
Right.
in the past in your life. So what do you think, like, the main thing that contributed to your like success with me over this past 8 months?
Well, I would say that the combination of some exercise, and for me, that fast HIT training has been ideal, and just eating right. Eating right, not any kind of fad things, but eating a balanced diet, a healthy diet of whole foods, putting things in the body that were intended to go into the body. I think that those things are the key. That, again, along with especially having some accountability, or I know you talk about having skin in the game sometimes, to just to just have that, little extra motivation.
Right. And what was like your favorite part of the program?
Well, I guess the, being able to exercise again, I was at a point in my life, I wasn't even sure that was doable, but finding that I could do something and, and do it in a way that didn't totally, disrupt my life, but actually enhanced it. That's really been the best part.
Love that. And just like what reservations did you have before joining the program?
Well, I guess beforehand, one, I really wondered if I'd be able to do any of the exercises. If I'd be either coordinated enough or have enough. And I know we've spoken, and then in the past that as I've lost the weight, it's the running in place on the one hand has become easier, but really what it is, it's allowed me to do it better, to do it faster. And so that the pain is still there, but in a good way, because it just feels more natural. And so that reservation, the reservation that it might be so disruptive to my day. And I found, occasionally as a priest, we've had funerals come up and things that you've been very accommodating that we could work around. And but for the most part, it really hasn't been an intrusive kind of thing. It hasn't involved going out and buying equipment. That was one of my plans before we started work together, to go out and either buy a treadmill or some other piece of expensive equipment, which, again, in the past, I've had exercise bikes that maybe I'd use for a month or two, and, then they'd start collecting dust. This was something that, just, was easy and sustainable.
Right. And what would you like tell anybody who's maybe on the fence about like crossing over that threshold and making a leap and working possibly with me?
Yeah, well, I'd say, you're worth giving it a shot. I mean, you really don't have anything to lose. I think to go ahead and try it out and see how it works. To me, the proof is in the pudding. When you see how it works, and how it is something that can be built into, I think, anybody's life and schedule. I would just say, why not? Why not give it a shot? I think I told you that story when I did check with my nephew after coming across you on Facebook. His thing was like, well, yeah, I saw some of that on Facebook, but it sounded too good to be true. Well, I mean, it sounds good, but it is true. It works. It's a great method.
Yeah, well, I'm happy you acknowledge that, because it does sound a little bit too good to be true.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. Well, thank you, Father Bob. Do you have any like last second things to add, or any comments that you want to leave everyone here with?
No, just to thank you, because like I said, even when we started, I would have never thought I'd be where I am right now. And for the people out there, it's I think you do owe it to yourself. Give it a shot. If you've been like me and been overweight and been frustrated and whatever, this is a method I think can work for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Father Bob. Again, I appreciate you taking the time out, and thank you all for watching. I hope this was valuable for you, and just let us know if you tuned in live by commenting live, or if you're catching this at a later time, just comment replay. That way I know when this reached you. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you in our next video.
Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Father Bob. Bye.